Hey everybody, this is Headcrab Zombie, and today we're starting something new. So we're back on the Xbox today, and we're going to be playing, or I'm going to be playing, and hopefully someone out there in the vast emptiness of the internet, the lonely, lonely place, is going to be watching me play Halo Combat Evolved. The Anniversary Edition. What's it called? Yeah, just Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition on the Xbox 360. So we're back to this big black hunk of junk that's sitting on my nightstand staring at me with its green circular ring. We're loading. Yeah, so I was on spring break a couple weeks ago, and I got a couple of my friends and we got a couple Xboxes together, and we hooked them up, Xbox 360s, and we hooked them up through System Link. We played, I think over 2 nights we played like 7-8 hours of Halo 3 multiplayer in total. And that just sort of got me back interested in the Halo franchise, which it's been a couple of years. I rewatched some of Red vs. Blue in the past couple weeks, and I got the idea. I've had this Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary since it came out a couple years ago. I never really played much of it. I've played the first Halo Combat Evolved, the original Xbox, Halo 2, the original Xbox, Halo 3. Halo Reach, Halo 4, but it's just, love those games, and so it's been a little bit, so, I thought, why don't I do this? Yeah, so, I don't have a ton of familiar with the, I just want to make sure I'm starting on the very first level. Yeah, okay, starting on the first level. Yeah, I don't have a ton of familiar with Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, that's a mouthful. But, I love basically all the Halo games I love, that I've played, I've loved. Just going to, yeah, let's stick to the default. It's been a while since I've played. Let's get set up a couple things. First, just brightness. Yep. I barely see the gray line in the middle of the white squares. First. What the hell is the contrast? There we go. Okay, barely see the gray bar. There we go. Remastered. Yep. Okay. What difficulty do I want to play? Let's see. I've beaten Combat Evolved 2, 3, and 4 on Legendary. It's been a couple years. Oh. How do I? For the sake so that I can also talk while playing it, and it's interesting, I'm just gonna stick on normal. Difficulty. Alright, this part is local. Yep, okay, and start. Let's see. Yeah, so for those not in the know, the first Halo game came out for the Xbox. It was a launch title for the Xbox in 2001. And in my mind, and I think a lot of people agree, it's probably one of the three... I'm trying to think. Probably top 3 best launch titles of all time. That's the games that sort of come out when the console first comes out. I think the only ones that sort of rival it are Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, and Wii Sports. So I guess this is in the top 5, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. When I was much younger, I read all the Halo, read all the Halo books, read all the comics. So I know a lot about it. It's just been a few years. It's probably been 5-6 years since I last read one of the books. So that right there is the Pillar of Autumn. Is the ship we're on. This is a very interesting game because
I think we both know.
I have the subtitles on so I can talk over the cutscenes. But the interesting thing about this game is, like you sort of start once you learn about the lore and fiction of the game. Like you start after a huge battle, basically, like your guys are escaping from.
We made a blind.
By that, Captain Keyes looks so much different than Captain Keyes in the original graphics of the game.
Tracking us all the way from Reach.
Yeah, so basically, the United States, Earth, and the humans are in war with this alien race called the Covenant. And basically, right before this game started, there was a huge battle at one of the humanity's outposts at a planet called Reach. And they lost, and basically the Pillar of Autumn is sort of like, just escaping, and they took a random jump.
But I've isolated approach signatures for multiple
So the female talking is the ship's AI Cortana, and that gentleman there is Captain Keyes, and basically they're just talking about the
bring the ship back up to
strategic
combat alert.
situation.
I want everyone
The
at this
game.
station.
Strategic
Everyone, sir?
situation.
Everyone.
That we sort of landed into. That we jumped
And
blind, and
Cortana.
the Covenant ships are following us.
Let's give our old friends a warm welcome.
I've already begun.
And they are talking somewhat obliquely about the player character.
Attention, all combat personnel. Please report to your actions.
So let's, the player character who we'll be introduced to in just a minute. Let's just watch a little bit of this introductory cutscene. Wow, these I'm just so familiar with Combat Evolved's graphics because I played that game, 5-10 times or so, probably closer to 10 all the way through. And this is just so different. That it's like sort of I think it's the same exact engine. Like I think for how this game is, it's like the same exact engine, but it's just the graphics have been updated, and so the cutscenes redone, and this just looks so much better. Oh, this is like the 10th anniversary. Wow, Johnson looks so different. That's Sergeant Johnson. He's sort of a very minor character in this game. He becomes like a larger, like secondary character in 2 and 3.
It is our job to finish what the flyboys started. We are leaving this ship platoon and engaging the Covenant on solid ground.
And basically, so right here from the start, what are we? We're 6 minutes in, maybe 4 minutes into the game, after I did probably a couple minutes of vamping, that we see one of the largest influences in the Halo franchise. Basically, I think all in pop culture just came out, which is Aliens, the 1986 James Cameron classic. Johnson is very much Sergeant Apone from that movie. The Marines are very inspired by the Space Marines from that, the Space Marines from Starship Troopers. Oh, a little interesting thing. So Johnson just gave that speech there. It's different based on. I think the speech he gives is different for each of the 4 difficulties. Wow, that guy on the right looks really in the uncanny valley. With this sort of big face. And it looks very different than the original version. I don't like. There's like a whole layer of ice in the cryo chamber in the original Combat Evolved. Revelate. Oh yeah, so each of the there are 11, 9, 10, or 11. I can't remember the exact number. Missions in the game, and each of them has like little parts. And as you can see at the bottom right, when the part loads, there's like a different name for each of the parts. So we're in. These guys are basically just waking us up from cryo sleep.
I need to get a calibration reading for your battlesuit's diagnostics.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Oh, moving around, I already. Just moving around with the right stick. That was enough to sort of do that first little.
Okay, sir. Go ahead and climb out of the cryo.
First little test. So we're already sort of started to introduce some of the mechanics, and I remember I was 10 years old when the first Halo game came out. I didn't play it at the time, but I do remember that it was
I gave you a double dose of the wake-up stim. Take a quick walk around the cryo bay and join me at the optical diagnostic station when you're ready.
That it was like revolutionary at the time because for console first-person shooters up to that point, there'd sort of been GoldenEye and Perfect Dark on the N64. I'm just getting used to the controls here. Left bumper turns my flashlight, 8 jumps. Those are sort of the standard.
I know the ordnance techs usually take care of your targeting sensors.
But those games I feel don't really stand up to the test of time, whereas this game very much. Maybe it's just because the vast majority of shooters since then have taken this. You have rechargeable. In this game you do have health, but that sort of gets dumped in future games. No, I don't want to be inverted. I hate inverted. I know everyone else in the world likes inverted, but I don't like inverted at all.
Is that better, or should I switch it back?
Try it the other way.
Okay. Try looking up.
Basically from now,
Leave it like that, or switch it again.
from sort of this game and until the end of time, you basically have the 2-weapon swappable limit, grenades at your fingertips that are not sort of their own item, and you have rechargeable health. You can your Christian version. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that Halo sort of created this new first-person shooter interface that's become the standard since. Okay, so Cortana, the ship's embodied AI, basically is sort of that I'm talking over, is basically saying that there's this is kind of floaty. Yeah, I forgot how floaty the jumps are in this game. How do I change the graphics?
Stand on the yellow square. This will just take a second.
Okay, so as I'm showing right here, if I hit the select button, I switch back to the Halo original Combat Evolved style graphics. So you can just see how far in 10 years things come. I'm gonna maybe once or twice a level I'll show that. But for the most part, I'm going to stick to the Anniversary Edition.
Okay, bring his energy shields online, please.
That's So now we're bringing my rechargeable energy shields online.
All right. Shield read is fully charged.
We're already 10 minutes in and I'm just getting to this.
Bring them down
Jeez.
to test the automatic recharge.
Okay, now I'm gonna test the automatic recharge. Oh right, I forget the shields recharge really slowly in this game compared to the. Yeah, it's like they take like double the amount of time to recharge in this game as they do in the other Halo games, or at least the other Halo games that have shields. Because ODST, for example, the one I forgot to mention, doesn't have shields.
Captain, we'll have to skip the weapons diagnostics and
But I'm like skating across the floor. It's really weird.
Copy. We better get moving. We'll find you weapons later.
Okay, I'll leave the self-diagnostics running at least.
Good idea. You'd better get.
I do think you can swap graphics in our real time.
I just have to reset the computer and I'm
That's
out of
nice.
here. Oh God, they're trying to get through the door.
That was a he finished his line. Like I'm just resetting the. Oh crap, he's getting killed. There's an elite. There, one of the enemies. I'm resetting the diagnostic. Oh crap, they're getting through. There's like no pause between those lines. That was a very bad line reading. Okay, I guess we're not going that way. And the music starts. I think the sort of simplest thing about this game that makes the Halo games awesome is the soundtrack. He's got this nice like drum, a lot of drums, and every now and then like the electric guitar comes in. But for the most part, it's just a lot of percussion. It feels like. Okay, so use. Do I have the toggle crouch? Okay, so those enemies there are one of the main enemies of the game. Those guys firing us, they're called elites. They're basically like the elite mooks, basically, but sort of like the field commanders of the Covenant. Oh yeah, that's a nice little flavor thing. There's a lot of funny sort of incidental dialogue in these games. Oh crap! Oh, I don't have any weapons. Can I use my melee? Oh, okay, I guess I just run past them. Oh, and here's some Marines.
Fall back! Fall back!
Yeah, what I always find interesting is that so you're a Master Chief Petty Officer in this game, which means you're naval. I think that's a naval rank, I'm fairly certain. But you're constantly fighting. But you're constantly fighting beside Marines, who, to my understanding, are a different branch of the military. So, I'm just.
What was that?
That's a little blending, I think, of military branches. That should, like, I guess made sense at the time. Bungie, who are the developers of these games, oh well, now it's 343 Industries, thought it was fine.
Captain Keyes is fighting.
Okay, good to know, soldier. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that you know, if you've never played the Halo games, or you're not really aware of them, Captain Keyes. Oh yeah, the Master Chief's such a badass voice. He's like an armored tank.
Things aren't going well. Cortana did her best.
I think the thing for like people who aren't very familiar with the Halo games is the first level. Actually, in Halo 3 it kind of does, but to a lot of the games, the first level doesn't really sell like what the game is. Like if you'd never played Halo before, and this is your very first. Oh, Woody dialogue. Yeah, and of course the AI has to be like this like scantily clad buxom woman, right?
I guess an antimatter charge.
There's like no emotions on these characters' faces, I'm realizing.
Captain, the cannon was my
Like look
last
at Cortana's
defensive
face, there's like no emotion on
All
it.
right. I'm initiating Code Protocol Article 2.
What I was saying is, this level, I think, if this was your very first exposure to Halo, sort of sells it poorly, because like you'd think it's just another sci-fi corridor shooter.
With all due respect, sir, this war has
Luckily,
enough
the
dead.
next level after this immediately sort of tells us what it's really going to be like. Well, actually, at least for the good levels of the game. But I think that this level sort of gives you the wrong impression. Yeah, so basically, what the captain's saying is, you know, we're being boarded by the Covenant, and if we want to protect Earth and humanity, we can't let them, you know, get access to our computers and figure out where all our stations are. So we have to basically blow up and abandon the ship. Yeah, you see, Keyes is basically asking, you know, sort of your mission at this point is to get Cortana, you know, take the AI,
The Autumn will continue evasive
and
maneuvers
escape the
as
ship,
you initiate
and land on the
Not that you'll listen,
big
I
sort of
suggest
circular
you
ring in
subject
space
handle the final approach.
that we've sort of been referenced. It's right there in the scene. That's, we're not really sure what it is right now. Although, you know, now in 2015, probably everyone knows what it is. But it was definitely the first time I played this game. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, this game's called Halo. Where's Halo? What's Halo? And,
Good luck, Master Chief.
Apparently you can put like a giant AI that like runs the whole ship just on a little SD card and just slot it right into your armor.
Your architecture isn't much different from the Autumn's.
Don't get any funny ideas.
Don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
Why wouldn't you keep the gun loaded? Why wouldn't you keep your sidearm loaded? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, but yeah, Keys gave us our first gun for the game. And now we have to get off the ship. Is there a... Oh! Okay, now we have the pistol, and basically we never need another weapon for all of the game. Because the pistol in this game is really powerful. If you... what are melee attacks? Okay. Right bumper. Because, sort of the... I don't know, I don't think it's apocryphal, but I think it's correct. Is that, basically, sort of a little too late in the development cycle of the game to, change it, that some developer basically when sort of figuring out weapon damage for the weapons, basically like move the decimal point to the right. So instead of doing like 10 points of damage, the pistol does 100 points of damage. So, but it is definitely a precision weapon, and I'm a little out of practice. So yeah, it's like a 3 shots. I think like 3 body shots and then a headshot to the elites is enough to lay down there. So we can already see that so there's sort of 2 types of enemies that we encountered so far. We encountered little guys running around, those are the grunts, and then the elites, who are these big well, right now they're blue, but they're a different color. Yeah, I know the controls. The elites have personal energy shields. So there's basically 2 types of weapon in the game. There's the human weapons, which I'm using right now. And then there are the Covenant weapons. The Covenant weapons are all energy-based, and they're really good at taking down shields. But the... is there a nav point? But the human weapons are very good at basically cutting through live enemies. So sort of a strategy is to use a energy weapon to down shields of enemy, and then use the human weapons to finish enemies off. And as I just demonstrated there, if you punch an enemy from behind, it's an automatic kill. One of my favorite things about Halo is just the weapon animation, like all these little things like you can do with the weapon. Like each of the weapons is like unique melee weapons. So like see with the pistol here, I like slam it and then I flick it around my wrist. And then when I switch to a weapon, you do this little sort of like cocking animation. See? That's just sort of like that just strikes me as like a mark of polish. So, like there's all these like little tiny animations, like don't really like, you know, the game would be like perfectly fine if you didn't have them, but because you do, it just like adds so much. Okay, hold on. Do I have? Okay, I do have. Ooh, whoa! I didn't mean to. Enabled, toggle. Oh wait, I didn't save that. Controls. Okay, I do have toggle crouch, but it looks like I'm sort of like toggling out of it. No, okay, it's fine. Get some. Oh, it's just my controller. I'm using my original controller that I've had since 2007 with this, and it's just sort of it's sort of begun to lose a little bit of its sensitivity. Sorry, that's really something that's hard to describe orally. Like, I can't really relate to controls.
Airlocks to attach their boarding craft. We go out and they come in.
Clever bastards. Clever girl. Oh, I just saw an elite there. Oh, maybe I could have surprised them. Wow, the animation on these guys, like the detail on the these guys is so good compared to like what it like. I'm gonna switch back to the original graphics for a bit, just to show you like how blocky everything is. Like, look at how. But this is perfectly serviceable, right? Actually, this was amazing for 2001.
Covering fire!
Do I have any grenades yet? No. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you can just see, just look at actually, this doesn't look too bad. But, you know, just. I'm like not doing that well at this right now. Thank God I'm playing normal. Because if I was playing on legendary, like I'd be dead 12 different ways by now. But you can see, like, just look at this elite. Like how blocky he is. And let's switch back. Just look at all the detail here, right? And like all the lighting. There's blood stains. There's like plasma burns. Okay. Yeah, the pistol is basically a mini sniper rifle that has a much higher rate of fire. It's got like zoom and everything. Like it's so unfair. This is probably the best pistol in all video games, and it just makes multiplayer matches really fun because like you start with such a good weapon in multiplayer matches in the pistol, so there's not a ton of points like running around. This is definitely one of the all-time greatest local multiplayer games. Like, if you get 2 Xboxes and sort of... Oh, as you can see, yep. So you can see there's an elite here. This guy's red, which shows that he is a bit tougher. So as we can already see, there's this nice sort of visual representation of enemy difficulty. That just strikes me as one of the things about like, the great design of this game. And as we've already experienced a couple times, and I haven't really talked about, we've already experienced like the core design philosophy of these Halo games, which is called the Bungie calls it the 30 seconds of fun, where it's basically you have sort of, if you think about like the whole game is like the whole gameplay is sort of like broken up into like 30, roughly 30 seconds. It's not exactly 30 seconds. Like chunks, where basically like all the major event, firefights, sort of take. It's not exactly 30 seconds, but what am I trying to say? It's sort of like there is a like the game has a lot of like crescendos. It ebbs and flows. Where, fight 30 seconds, rest 30 seconds, fight 30 seconds, rest 30 seconds. But there's like these nice intervals that things happen in where it's not like a lot of like say like Call of Duty. Not to talk bad about Call of Duty because I love a couple of those games, but where it's it's just like never-ending cessation. But this game is it's like okay, you have a huge firefight and you take a 30-second break. Then you have a huge firefight, then you have a 30-second break. Then you have a huge firefight, then you have a break. See like right here, like I went through that last firefight and then I walked around for a bit, picked up armor, and now again right back in the mix of things. Which I think for a not exactly Twitch shooter, which this is if not say like Unreal Tournament, but sort of in that style works very well. Oh, as you can see, the enemies have personality. These grunts, when they have an elite around, they're, sort of disciplined and good fighters. But as soon as the elite dies, when you kill them, they sort of lose their shit and just, sort of go rambling around aimlessly. They shout, run, get away. Okay. Again, this is sort of one of my complaints about this very first level. How it really doesn't sell this game well. Is just how similar all the environments look, so it's really hard to get around. Like later levels that excel have distinct environments that make it easy to sort of navigate because you know where you're going.
Covenant on the landing above us.
Yeah, I see. Okay, Cortana, in retrospect, is a little annoying. And I think sort of the whole paradigm of this game is maneuverability and high action. Like the way you excel, especially multiplayer, is to be accurate, but also to be highly mobile. Like the more mobile you can be, while maintaining your accuracy, the higher your rate of success. And a good mix of gunplay, melee attacks, and the third aspect of combat, which we haven't gotten to yet because we haven't found them, grenades. Sort of the mixed grenades at instead of grenades as their own sort of selectable weapon type, although there are multiple types of grenades, that you have grenades basically at the touch of a button, which is, I don't know, I think that's the sort of an innovation. I'm not entirely sure. I believe that was basically an innovation of this game. That rather than have, like sort of a weapon wheel where, you have pistol, shotgun, rifle, rocket launcher, sci-fi magic weapon, grenade, sort of the Doom paradigm of games. God, I'm like talking all highfalutin about this action game. It's over a decade old. Instead of that, you have several different weapon types that sort of all fulfill their own purpose. Light weapon, workhouse, sort of workhouse weapons, the assault rifle, the pistol that I have right now. Energy weapons, rocket launchers. And then you have a whole separate button just designated for grenades, the left trigger. And as you can see when I tap it, the little no grenade light flashes up. All this cool stuff is happening. There's no run button. Picked up health pack, picked up 23 rounds for my pistol. Okay, get them dropping these guys. Oh.
Warning, blast doors closing. The Covenant are destroying the life pods.
The Covenant are destroying the life pods. Yeah, okay, so the blast doors are closed, so I can't get through here. So I'm going to have to take an alternate route. And nav points. So we're introduced to another sort of staple of this game, and I can't remember. Again, I'm not going to speak to the other games because it's been a while since I played them. But nav points. To sort of designate your way. Okay, this is an annoying section. Again, this section is one of those that doesn't really sell the rest of the game because of just how samey this whole little maze area is. And there are definitely sort of, you know, find the correct pathway in future sections of the game. A couple sections I think in particular that are sort of low points. Yeah, I'm not going to say that this is the worst mission by far. There's one particular that's infamous. Where's my... Oh, there we go. I was just about to ask, where's my motion tracker? There's one level in particular that's sort of infamously difficult and samey.
We're too close. We need to find
okay,
another route.
this way I can't get through.
Motion tracker shows all clear. Wait, we need to get through that door, but it's been
Oh, okay, she's talking.
explosion. Analyzing.
Yep, I can just bash it open. Oh, what was I saying? But there's another level that I'll mention when I get to that's just really, really samey and mazy. But for the most part, the levels, as we'll get to in the next video, are very good at sort of giving you freedom of motion, not emotion. Or at the very least, sort of giving... I wish the switch weapon... Okay, that's a complaint. I wish the switch weapon and ready weapon animations were a bit faster. Yeah, I hear my shields. Breathe there for a second. Start to reach. There we go. The assault rifle, when I used to, the first couple times I played, I just fire on full auto, like that. But the assault rifle may not seem like the best weapon at first because the bullets sort of fly all haphazardly. But if you get good at a sort of short, tight, controlled burst, they can definitely be one of the better weapons in the game. I'm just gonna avoid those guys. Not one of the better weapons. Gonna be sort of one of those workhouse weapons, and definitely characterize the multiplayer in that sense. It's it's not it's a jack of all trades, master of none type thing. Ooh, were there like okay, there's explosive barrels I can shoot. Right. What did I learn from playing Resident Evil 5? Barrels always explode. One shot in video games, especially if they're red. Ooh, my health's a little low. I'm not playing very strategically. But this is a game that sort of encourages you to run and gun. Tertiary. But it does have the health system, which later games, ODST brings it back, and I think Halo Reach does as well. But like the main sort of numbered ones, the main numbered one starring Master Chief. Ditch the health pickup. Well, there's a lot of my motion tracker's in the bottom left. Yellow dots are friendlies, red are enemies. There's a lot of enemies down there. Superstructure damage. Basically, what Cortana's saying is the ship is doomed. It's gonna fall to Earth, or fall to Halo. Or actually, no, they don't call it that yet. That's it's actually a bit into the game before you learn like what Halo is. Maybe I wasn't really aware of it because I wasn't really playing these types of games at the time when it first came out. Because I was only 9, 10 years old. But maybe this sort of marketing material sort of gave you sort of told you what Halo was, so it wasn't like a mystery. But I remember. My stories are going nowhere. I apologize. Explode a moment ago. Yep. So now we have the final component of sort of main component of gameplay: grenades. Which, oops. Yeah, I just killed myself because I threw a grenade at Bulkhead. I died on the first level. I can't believe that happened. That's actually kind of embarrassing. On normal difficulty, mind you. Like normal difficulty is definitely not is not easy, but to some extent it can be a bit of a walk in the park, especially if you're familiar with the game. But I died on the first level on normal. I can't believe that.
The damage to a
I think there's actually an achievement for beating this whole level without dying, and now I'm not going to get it. Great. Actually, I may already have that achievement. I don't remember how much I played of this game. You die now. Go for my shirt. Gotta wait for my shield to recharge. Okay, now I'm back at that point. Just that. Okay, let's just chuck some grenades. Let's just clear out some of the grunts. Okay, that elite. There we go. Oh yeah, so this it's probably become apparent because I haven't done it yet, but this is
quickly get aboard before it launches.
this is a shooter that came out sort of just a few years before the innovation of or the paradigm of aim down sights became like where the hell is the lifeboat supposed to get on? Here? No. Cortana just said something about a lifeboat. Is it here? Is this it? There it is. Yep. Okay, I got it.
Oh no.
No.
Now would be a very
You would have
good
gotten
time
on
to
that
leave.
guy if you like hadn't like taken the time to say like, oh no, if you just kept crawling forward. That's Fohammer. She's a really cool character. I think that's actually is that Fohammer? I don't know. I think I'm incorrect about that.
We're gonna make it, aren't
That's a
we,
different
sir?
character.
I don't want to die out here.
Look,
I thought Chief was just gonna pick him up by the scruff of his neck and tell him to shut up. That's kind of what that looked like. What are we looking at, Cortana? Oh, we're heading towards the superstructure. Wow, that thing is huge.
What is that thing, Lieutenant?
Yeah, the facial animation on this. Now I'm remembering. Did not look that good at the time. This game's from
the auto's
2011.
accelerating. Keys is going in manual.
They should look a bit better. Yeah, so Captain Keyes is basically gonna in order to hope to survive, he's gonna crash the pillar bottom on the giant ring in space.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
You'll be fine.
And that's sort of Chief's modus operandi, just the consummate badass. I like to imagine like underneath that helmet, he's like secretly freaking out like anyone else would in that situation. But no, he's the Chief, so we don't see that. Okay, so and with that, we're gonna call it quits here after the first mission. I think I'm gonna do that. Each of these videos is gonna be one mission long, unless they go really long. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll hopefully you'll tune in next time on as we continue through Halo